Hey, hello there. Very good evening, everyone, and welcome to Employee Engagement Live. Today is the 12th episode, and I'm super excited about it. It's been an amazing journey. We've had the opportunity to speak to 11 extremely talented, extremely experienced working professionals and authors in the last 11 episodes. And today is going to be no exception. It's super exciting. I have a very interesting guest today. But before that, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Shrikant Acharya. I'm the CEO at offineeds.com and thehomeoffice.in. Offineeds is a leading corporate gifting company based in Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Chennai in India. And the Home Office is a e-commerce company where we list a series of products that are required for people to work from home more efficiently. So let me take a minute to tell you why we create the employee engagement live. The idea behind that was that employee engagement has been a buzzword, and it's been a very important strategy when it comes to talent acquisition, talent retention, and productivity, and so on. And as it is, it was a difficult topic. It's a new set of ideas, new set of strategies. But with the pandemic, with work from home coming in, it became even more challenging. And we could see that we work with several large organizations, and we could see that the HR and corporate communications at different companies are having to face new challenges, and that was the intention. So I decided to bring in senior experienced people from HR and corporate communications and authors who have written about employees and talent management and that kind of space, and bring them onto a platform like this and ask them some questions and give the opportunity to anybody to really ask them questions directly here. And I think it's been pretty good so far, and I'm super excited about today's audience, today's guest. Let me talk about today's guest. Today we have Renjith, who's joining us, who's got close to um, 12-15 years of experience in working in different roles in different corporates. He started his career in 2007 as sales and marketing, in the sales and marketing profile in Reliance. Then he moved to Tata Teleservices. Then he moved to HR in Petroleum Corporation Limited, HPCL. And then he worked with Cipla for almost 4 years, where he was working in his last days as an associate director and divisional head of HR lead. And after that, he worked with Astra Zeneca as the director of HR for India operations. And in September 2020, he hung his boots, so to say, and he took a break from the corporate world and decided to turn an entrepreneur. As we speak, Renjith runs two organizations. One is called Trinity, which is a learning and development organization. Another is called Talintuit Consulting, which is a talent management and OD organization development organization. So without any further ado, let me welcome Renjith into the show. Renjith, thank you so much for taking the time, and welcome to Employee Engagement Live. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much, Srikant. I'm amazed and excited with with the event, and thank you so much for the introduction as well. Super charged up.
Awesome. Let's get going with the first question that I ask everybody who joins my show. What, according to you, Renjith, is employee engagement?
Um, a big question in small words, I would say. Employee engagement is not an easy concept. While we started the HR concept of the business partnering and all those things, and employee engagement was gradually evolving in the back end, and this has evolved in a very drastic manner. So, in simple words, say consider an organization as a boat with around 100 people. Say, for example, if 20 people are rowing the boat on towards the forward direction, around 50 people are sitting idle, and another 30 people rowing the boat in the opposite direction. What would happen? So this is exactly what is called employee engagement. Whereas the 20 people who are working hard, who are the super smart people, who have high potential, who are performing extremely well, they row the boat towards the front. 50 people are just payload, and they're not contributing, even though they don't actively participate in the reverse direction. But there are people who are working in the reverse direction as well. So So this actually is employee engagement. So employee engagement is more about increasing this 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 or whatever number is possible, and the actively engaged people we need to work on so that the boat is moving forward, and everyone is equally contributing to the entire journey. So that's what my take on employee engagement is.
Awesome. I think that is the most interesting analogy that I found to actively engaged and not engaged and actively disengaged group of people within an organization. That is the coolest explanation I've come across. So that's a great start. And let me remind the audience, for those who've been regular to the show, you know that you get rewarded for participating. So first of all, thank you so much. I see Bhavya, Shubhra, and Kritika and a bunch of people. So we are live right now on LinkedIn, Facebook, and on YouTube. So wherever you are, please put in your comments there. And if you want to say hi to me or to Renjith, you can say that in the comments and save your questions, because in a few more minutes, I'm going to ask those questions. I'm going to give you an opportunity to put your questions out in the comments box, and we're going to put Renjith in a spot. Let's see if we can do that. And towards the end, Renjith or me will pick up three of the most interesting questions, and you will get a 500 rupee gift voucher to shop on thehomeoffice.in. So pull out your pen and paper. This is going to be really, really interesting. I hope you take some great points back home after this session. So Renjith, I have a question. See, you made a fantastic analogy, right? So what have you seen happening in the past organization? What are some of the, let's say, tell me three of the most effective strategies that organizations take to move those people who are rowing the boat backwards, right? What do you do to them to bring them neutral, or to bring them to the guys who are moving the boat forward?
So I would say, I've been fortunate enough to work with some of the best companies, and a couple of them are Fortune 500 companies. And for example, the work I have done with Cipla, I would say this is a gem of a company where such companies are very limited. We we did a lot of experimentations in terms of organizational development in Cipla during those 4 years, and we have had some wonderful, amazing HR leaders there, and even business leaders who were supportive and supporting the entire change management. So I would take up three examples from three of my previous companies. One is from Cipla, where the last role I have managed, the acute cluster. Uh, so this acute cluster, we had a lot of challenges in terms of the pride in the organization, performance, low performance or average performance, I would say, inconsistent performance, low morale, and things were very common in that division. And the business head, along with my reporting manager and me, we created some amazing things to increase the pride in the organization first. So that is one thing we created. So that was even the theme of the entire engagement activity.
Mhm.
Another one, what we created in my previous company in Astra Zeneca, is creating some learning and growth opportunities for employees, which we termed as I develop. This was another opportunity where people wanted to grow or learn within there. So because it was a manufacturing organization, the number of opportunities to grow and learn were very limited. So we had to create opportunities, and we gave the accountability of self-learning to each employee, and that was another amazing engagement initiative there. In my public sector career, public sectors are normally, known for say lethargy or slow pace and things like that. But I have seen HPCL to be a very fast-moving, almost equivalent to a private sector organization, wherein the energy, the learning curve is very high for people. So there, even we have had two different initiatives. One for the new joiners, which I was also a part of, as well as in the execution team as well, which we call the Samavesh, which we did for the new joiners. So that was a brilliant engagement activity for the first 90 days, wherein the person who is coming from an external environment to the organization understands the culture of the organization, learns each and every bit, understands the purpose of the organization, works for it, and achieves a cultural balance in that organization. Another initiative what we did there was exiting employees. So most of the organizations, especially in private, they don't care much about exiting employees. But in public sector, that's a difference, wherein even the retiring employees were also taken care of. They were given one beautiful program called the Path of Light, wherein they were given uh, awareness about what should they do after engaging with the after the service with the organization. What are the things they should do? How they should spend time. What are the avenues wherein they can use the money corpus with which they retire from. So there are some amazing initiatives, I would say, which has helped me learn better and understand the organizations and the employees engagement better. So a couple of I don't know whether I've explained in
No, I think
in a broader
fantastic.
concept, but yeah.
Yeah. I think you answered it really well. So let me try to recollect. You said the first thing was about instilling pride in the employees. I think you mentioned in Cipla, right? Second thing you mentioned was about giving learning and development opportunities to people. And you talked about in HPCL, you talked about welcoming new employees as well as having an exit program. So that's a lot of things that you talked about. And you talked about a very important terminology. You touched upon a word called change management. Let's talk a little bit more about change management. What is change management, and what are the challenges with change management?
Change management is, I would say, uh, it's inevitable. Every organization has to change because year after year, organizations are growing, and the challenges what they face would definitely be different when they grow up. Say, for example, uh, let me take my example. When I start my organization as a proprietor company, I would say have 2 employees, 5 employees. When I grow up, I would increase the number of employees. My business volumes would increase. I need to have processes along with me. I need to have policies for my employees. When this grows to a 50 employee, the complexities increase. So I needed to
Hmm.
have managers. Till that time, I would manage everything. Now I need managers to manage things. When this grows further, I need managers of managers who can
Hmm.
head departments and things like that. So once the complexities increase, there is a
Hmm.
requirement for the organization to change, and this is
Right.
a law of a law of the. Hope I'm audible, right? Yeah,
Yes, you are.
everything has to evolve, and organizations also have, I mean, no option but to evolve. And look at this: the talent what we have in the market, in the job market, 10 years or 15 years back is totally different from the talent what we have today. Today's
Yes.
generation is much smarter. I see that. I mean, I had no clue of what career is when I joined organizations. And today, people have this idea. They speak about talent. They speak about career. They speak about aspirations and passion and things like that. So there is a lot of change which has happened in the way jobs are looked at, careers are looked at. And same way organizations also have to change the way we provide. So engagement, basically, we should always understand that, say, even Gallup says about this, that engagement is all about what employee think what I can give, what I get, say, uh, say, how can we together grow as an organization, and do I belong in this organization? So these are the four levers which Gallup provide, wherein, so what do I get is a big question. What do I give back to the organization? The accountabilities is the second one. The third one is, do I belong here? Do I belong in this organization? Am I connected with this organization's purpose and policy, vision, mission, and things like that? And the fourth one is, how can we together grow? Okay, now that I belong to this place, how can we together, as a common entity, grow together and achieve together? So uh, possibly change management. I'll come back to that point. Change management is a multidisciplinary approach, wherein we have to look at the talent, we have to look at the business imperatives, we have to look at how can we leverage the talent as well as the business imperatives, along with the capital requirements and other resources. How can we
Right.
leverage, ensure that we are sustainable? We, as an
Right.
organization, we can go ahead and be successful on a continuous basis. So that's what my thought is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's you nailed it, right? So we've seen change happening at a faster and faster pace. And in the last 1 year, I think things have got not just changed, they've disrupted like crazy. And
Correct.
from organizations to leaders to employees, everybody has to adapt to the new way of doing things, right? Let's touch upon another point that you spoke about, where you said there was a particular way in which you would induct new employees into the organization. You mentioned HPCL, but I'm sure that happens in every organization.
Yes.
And the way the exit happens in an organization, either if they're changing their job or if they're retiring, right? So it's very important. One of the important questions that people ask is, when should I do employee engagement? Is it when I'm hiring? Is it in the process of, is onboarding employee engagement, or is it during training, or is it, what exactly is employing? You kind of touched that, so let's get a little bit more deeper into that.
Okay. Sure. So I would say that employee engagement starts. I mean, you cannot say where it starts and where it ends, because it's a continuous process. Employee engagement is all about making the employees stay in the organization, making the employee perform to the expectations, inspire them, and in a way make them committed to the organization. And all these things combined, let it attract new talent from the market. So this goes into a vicious circle wherein the stay, the perform, the commit, the inspire, and the attract one. So definitely there has to be a lot of support given to the existing employees, because they are the ambassadors, and they are the soothsayers of the organization. So it's very important that we need to speak or support the existing employees more, because the performance, how performance is measured, how they are inspired, how they are made committed to the organization, this will define how new talent is being attracted. So in a way, employee value proposition is also included in the employee engagement part.
Right. Awesome. Loved it. I love it where you say that there is no transition. It's a part of a routine work. It's not something that it belongs to a separate department, or it's something that is done in a distinct manner. Let's talk a little bit about. I know you run an L&D organization. Tell me a little bit about the importance of L&D, and I think you spoke something about putting them into self-learning mode or something like that. So we'll address that. Before that, let me once again remind the audience, I'm loving this conversation. I'm sure you are too. I can already see a couple of questions that have been posted there. So I'll encourage everyone to hold on to your questions, or you can start putting in those questions already. No issues. In a couple of more minutes, I'm going to open up those questions to Renjith, and let's see what he has to say about that. Wow, that's a lot of questions that are coming in. Awesome. Keep them coming in. And I'm going to ask them to Renjith. You can tell me a little bit about the importance of learning and development, and tell me a little bit about that self-learning bit that you spoke about.
So I would say that so you would know this concept of andragogy, wherein adult learning principles are there, right? So I would say the primary motivation of every adult is to learn, because that is a primary principle with which we grow up. We learn new things, we pick up, oh, that is how it is done, okay, let me learn it. So adult learning principles are the basis of evolution, and this is where we define, or we create opportunities for people to learn, for employees to learn. And uh, believe me, whichever organization provides opportunities to learn and grow, I mean, there the employees stay longer. There the employees contribute more, and they are more committed. Because I mean, as an adult, as an individual, I get things from here. I learn things. I am faced with multiple challenges. I learn from those challenges. I have, I regularly get to improve myself, so that I mean, so Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I have esteem needs satisfied. I have social needs satisfied, and so these are some of the basic tenets of employee engagement, wherein the learning is being addressed. So learning and development is definitely a brilliant tool for organizations to engage and connect with the employees. So you asked about giving the onus or the accountability to the employees part. So look at this again. I go back to the adult learning principle, wherein I cannot teach anything to anyone unless and until they are interested to learn. So, for example, if Srikanth comes in and says, "Hey Renjith, X is equal to Y," I would say, "No, I know X is not equal to Y. I have my own reasons or explanations to do that." But when you say that something is like this, or you need to learn, say for example, something data analytics is a new thing in coming up, and HR analytics is something which is trending as well. So if Srikanth, if you ask me, hey Renjith, you should learn HR analytics, I would say, why should I would not do that. But
Mm,
when you connect that with my growth, when you connect that with
right.
my existence,
Mm,
that helps me, or that motivates me to ensure that I should learn HR analytics. Else,
right.
either I'll be redundant, or I'll not grow, or I'll be made a mockery out of the society, saying that, oh, I should not. I don't know HR analytics. So this is going to be the prime principle wherein we leverage on to drive
Mm,
people to be accountable. So employees need to
right.
be accountable for their own learning. And they are,
Mm,
because if I need to grow, I have to learn. The only point is, instead of Srikanth saying, Renjith, you should learn HR analytics, you should say, hey, Renjith, there is a lot of opportunities if you learn HR analytics. So
yeah.
the dialogue, the communication here is the key. How we communicate,
Mm.
what is being communicated, and the crux of how do we leverage the accountability for this.
Awesome, awesome. You guys, if you've listened to that, that was worth its weight in gold. It was amazing, amazing advice, and it's everybody's dream, right? If we're able to put our employees into self-learning mode, I think that was great stuff. If you missed that, go back to the recording and watch that again. I think that was great advice. We have some amazing questions here, so I want to encourage everybody. A couple of more minutes, I'm going to open up these questions. So, you have any more questions? Please go ahead and type that there. If you don't have any questions and you want to say that was great answer, or you just want to say hi Renjith or something, please do give that comment in there. We've got Nimisha, Bhavya, Shubhra, and some more users. I'm not able to see the name. Kritika, Maria, and Mohammad Hisham. Hi Mohammad, Kritika, and Gautam. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for all your participation. I'm going to open up and ask some of these questions that you've asked here. Some amazing questions have come in here already. Okay, so tell me a little bit about you actually answered, you spoke about this, right? You said, when I started my career, I didn't know what was a career. Neither did I, right? So 2004, 2005, 15, 20 years back, I think you just took any job that came by. But now there's a lot more clarity people have. So tell me a little bit about how have employee expectations changed in the last 15 to 20 years, and how should the employee engagement style change because of that?
Uh, Beautiful question. This has to take a connect to the generations of which has happened during the last 30-40 years. So we all know that there is a generation X, Gen Y, the millennials, and the now we call them the centennials. So these groups are grossly different. They have differences in the approach to job, in and the way they want to collect money or resources, or the way they want to learn things, and the way they connect with the society as well. So during the generation X people, or even the Y people, so they wanted more of stability. They wanted more of support in the organization. They wanted more of job security, a stable income, and things like that. Whereas when it came to millennials, they were more explorative. They wanted to explore things, even though they wanted some of the job security part, but they were still ready to take up the risk, understand different things, and explore areas. However, when the new situation, centennials have come in, or the latest generation of employee force have come in, uh, this group is totally vibrant. I mean, I respect and I envy them for a lot of things. They're really smart. I still say that they are going to be leaders of tomorrow, in very very few years from now. They'll definitely take over us. I mean, we are nowhere in front of us, from front of them. So when we look at so what has changed in the last 10-20 years, say a proper remuneration would have helped employees get engaged, or become happy, satisfied in the job, say 15-20 years back, whereas mere salary would not satisfy. So leave alone satisfaction, there will be dissatisfaction if you pay only salary. So the hygiene factors have taken a turn. Salary is no more a motivational factor today. It's only a hygiene factor or a basic factor which avoids dissatisfaction. Uh, so I would say here, even though this theory is very old, the McClellan's needs theory, wherein there are three types of needs for an individual: the need for power, the need for achievement, and need for affiliation. Look at this. Uh, each person has varying degrees of the need for power, the need for achievement orientation, and the need for affiliation. I am a person who has a higher need for affiliation, and I connect with more people. I see
Mm.
that the centennials also has this need for achievement and need for affiliation on a larger scale than power. They're not looking at, say, fancy designations. They're not looking at, say, I want to be the president or vice president. I'm looking at what can I contribute, how can I achieve things, how can I get connected with more people. So these needs can be identified and picked up, and say how we approach each employee. There is another difference, I would say. uh, 15-20 years back, we could combine a lot of people and say that, okay, all these people would want some kind of engagement like this. Whereas today, the engagement activities or the requirement is highly different. Each employee will have to define the employee engagement requirement for each employee. Say, I might require learning and development, you might require rewards and recognition, another person would require something else. So
Right.
I would urge organizations to do research and detailed analysis on what is the employees need,
Mm.
what do employees require, and create a personalized system of employee engagement and create an experience for the employees. And today the experience matters, because that's why I mean I mean still from a Gen Y or a millennial population, I am in the midst of those two generations. So uh, I would still, I mean, question, why do people go for Starbucks coffee, whereas today's kids don't worry about but the money. Because I always look at, oh, why should I spend 500 rupees for a Starbucks coffee?
Right.
Today's kids say that, okay, that's an experience. I go there, I get an experience there, and that is exactly what the today's talent wants: experiences.
Right.
And if
Yeah.
organizations are able to create this experience to the individual employees, again, it's personalized. The personalized experience, if we can create, well and good. And that is one reason why organizations are looking at career roadmaps for each employee.
Mm.
So how can I? So right from my joining time, how can I create my own roadmap? My road would be totally different from someone else's. So if we
Right.
both join the organization together, it does not mean that I want to travel the same way as you are.
Mm.
We both travel in two different routes. Our destinations might be different. So expectations are widely different today.
Mm.
That's why a personalized employee experience or the strategy for creating this is required.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. Loved it. Let's take some questions from the audience now. I've
Yes.
got amazing questions today, and usually I can cluster 3 or 4 questions and ask them as one, but today the range of questions seems very, very interesting. Let me post a question that Maria asked on Facebook. It says, Mr. Renjith, how do you remove the barrier in the minds of employee that change means more work? That's an extraordinary question, I think.
Yes. Yes. Uh, I mean, whenever we do a change, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to be a part of change management in two different companies, and one of it is a Fortune 500 company, another one is a global multinational company. And I see change is not easy. I mean, change is always a very cumbersome process, very complex process, and there would be grudges, grievances, heartburns, and all those things which are involved. The success of a change will definitely depend upon the leadership, how it communicates. Because if you read Simon Sinek, uh, everything starts with the why. So if the why is communicated properly, it's very important that the why, if it is understood by the last person in the mile, they will definitely support you in the change management process. Else, there is definitely going to be a resistance in the change process. Change is never easy. I would say, I mean, uh, one of my previous CHROs would always say that you can't change. Say, for example, if you hold your hands like this, you can't just change the way you put your thumbs differently. This is one of my CHROs, ex CHROs say, because you can't just keep the reverse way. This itself is very difficult. So a large change is totally difficult. It's not easy. And resistance, because it's about emotions. Every human being, every individual is a package. We cannot say that these are machines or these are robots who are just there to perform or give productivity. They have their own emotions, they have their own questions, they have their own mindsets, they have their own backgrounds, and we need to appreciate it, we need to represent it, and we need to communicate it in a way they understand. So go to employees whenever there is a change management. Communicate is the maximum thing what we can do. Any communication is not over communication there. Communicate more. Let the leaders go to the field, go to the last person, speak to them, make them understand why we are doing it. Why should we do it now? Another mentor of mine who regularly says there are two questions which we need to ask whenever we do a change management: why and why now. So these are two questions which we need to ask every time when we take a decision on change management. Why are we doing it? And why now? These two are the most important questions. And if you are able to explain this to the person, I mean, he will be definitely be convinced.
Yeah.
And again, thanks Maria for that question. I have faced, I mean, challenges after challenges in while handling change management, because people fear the unknown. People fear the volatility. I mean, they don't know what is going to happen. So if someone who is confident, who can communicate that, hey, don't worry, dude, I'm there with you. Let me explain this to you first. This is what is going to happen. This is where we are going to reach, and this is the way. We are there. I am there to support you. Just let's start walking. So if you can communicate this properly, then that person is yours.
Awesome. Awesome. There is no such thing as over communication, and ask these two questions: why and why now? Right. Awesome. Love those answers. Let's go with Mohammad Hisham. Hi there, man. Mohammad Hisham is a regular. He's an HR himself, and he comes up with amazing questions. And he's got two brilliant questions here. One, he says, how do we improve the psychological contract that an employee has with the organization? I think that's a beautiful question.
Okay. Shall I go ahead?
Yes, 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 please do.
Thanks, Risham. Thanks, Mohammed, for that question. So you asked it right. That human being, our every employee is a human being, and that is a package that has emotions, that has I mean, the physical thing, the mental thing, and the spiritual thing, and all those things. So what is an employee's expectation from an organization? That is the primary question here. Why is that person here? Why is he working for you, he or she? To be gentle neutral. So why is that person working for this organization? That is a question to be asked. What is this person needing? Is it only the money, or is it something more? Employees would definitely look at process fairness. So whenever there is a employee engagement activity happening, I would say that it is more of more of a strategy than an activity. Whenever you are designing any employee engagement in your organization, you should look at it as a strategy. Don't consider it as an activity, because activities, I mean, if it is executed and completed, it's done and dusted. Whereas a strategy has an end result in mind. There's a process to be followed, and things like that. So when you look at employee engagement, there are possibly 7 levers for employee engagement. The first one is the process fairness. How employee perceives, how is my organization's process fairness? Is everything, I mean, fairly treated? Is it transparent? Are the policies good enough? So these are some of the questions which we can ask. The second lever is on the outcome fairness. Say, if I do X amount of work, or if I do this activity, am I going to get the same thing or same result my counterpart or my peer does? So
Mm,
is there a connection? Is there an inequity between the outcomes?
mm,
The third one is on how am I included in discussions? How am I included in the decision making? Uh, is my thoughts, my am I recognized for my efforts? Okay, I did not get a right result. Can I be appreciated? Can I be recognized for what I've done, what my effort is? Am I able to design my workplace and my job? So this is one point where employees would always have their own say on or inside their mind they would definitely have an opinion about how their work should be. Is it being asked? Can the managers or the supervisors or leaders go and ask, hey dude, hey Shrikant, are you doing it right? How do you want your job to be different? Can
right.
you do something differently?
Mm,
Can you do your job more efficiently than what you're doing now? If
right.
this question is asked, I'm sure that Srikant would have at least three ideas.
Mm,
The purpose is not to take all the ideas. The purpose is
mm,
that okay, the employee is heard, employee is understood. Okay, this person is asked. I am included in the way my job is designed.
mm,
The fifth one is on uh, the interactions with the supervisors, with the leaders. How is the human relations between the supervisors? Is there a coaching mechanism which is happening? Is there a proper discussion based system happening, or is it just like the radio playing? The supervisor just says, and the employees have to agree to what he or she says. So
right.
these are some of the levers which
Right.
employee engagement is based on.
Mm,
There are further things like alignment with the organization.
mm,
Uh, so how the employees' objectives, employees' vision is connected with the organization's vision, or how much of resources and capabilities are given to this employee. These are
right.
all levers which will help the employee to understand that okay, this is the right organization for me. This is the place
Mm,
with which I wanted to connect with. I want to associate with. So
right.
uh, I don't know whether I gave you a long-winding answer, but the psychological contract has to be ensured with the process fairness and the outcome fairness to be precise. I'll just take one more point, one more minute to answer this.
Mm-hmm.
In some of the organizations I worked with, I had unions. I had very strong unions with which we worked with. So, what do unions, employee unions, trade unions look for? The trade unions look for two basic things. They need to have a process fairness. They need to have an outcome fairness.
Mm,
They need to. I mean, if there is a problem in both of these, the unions will definitely strike at you.
mm,
There will be employee unrest. There will be disharmony in the system. So
mm,
even if it is employee relations, I mean, if you are looking at employee engagement in employee relations, process fairness and outcome fairness is one basic thing with which we can approach employee unions as well. So these are some of the uh, basic levers with which the psychological contract also can be worked out.
awesome. Super. Really nice one. I have Praveen asking from YouTube, what are the skills that are required to be a top-notch HR in the corporate industry? To be a great HR, I'm sure there are a lot of young
Thank you,
youngsters who are just
thank you
starting
so
their
much. I
career
don't
in
know whether
HR.
I am one of the top. I don't believe in it. Thank you so much for that thought. But I believe every HR person should be agile, should be agile in their learning and in their growth mindset. Uh, so there was a concept in among people that HR means this person should be people oriented, or a person who is good with people, good with speaking with people is a person fit for HR. I wouldn't believe this.
Okay.
I would say that it's not only the people skills or the way you connect with people matters. It's about the way you understand human emotions, the way you understand the connections between the interpersonal relations. So you should look at OB, organizational
Mm,
behavior, wherein the
mm,
psychological contracts are being looked at.
mm,
Uh, so I would say if you are looking for being an HR professional, the first thing you need to understand is There is an organization, there is an employee or a talent base. HR is always in between, and you can't take sides, or you can't take both sides. Of course, you are being paid by the organization, so there is a liability or a commitment to the organization. On the other side, you have the employees who trust you for connecting with the organization. So
Yeah.
each side, it's very important. So learning agility, again, I repeat that learning agility and growth mindset is one key skill which I would want HR to pick up. In today's world, technology adoption is one brilliant thing.
Yeah.
Say, I would say that most of HR people in HR professionals in the current scenario doesn't understand technology, does not appreciate technology, because they fear technology. Don't do this. Learn technology. You learn Python, learn R programming, look at data analytics, because that is going to be the future. So if you say that you are good at say employee life cycle management, I wouldn't say that. I mean, you are an HR professional. You are more of a transaction handler. I don't want an HR professional to work on repeated transactions which can be automated. Uh, so if you want to be a good HR professional, look at businesses, look at how businesses are run, look at what value you can add to the business. Say HR is no more about giving benefits, giving the leave transactions, or approving the travel allowances, or making the salaries paid. No, that's no more the job. I'm not saying that these are unimportant jobs. These are definitely important. These are definitely required for an organization. But this is not the real HR work. These could be definitely be technologically leveraged to automate. So
Right.
today anything can be automated other than human decisions. So uh, be eligible or be capable for taking those decisions in terms of becoming an HR professional. Connect with people, add value to the business. Thanks.
Awesome. Loved it. I think that's a you covered some great points there, and I'm hoping you guys who are watching are making notes, because that could help you leapfrog your career. There's an interesting question here from Gautam on LinkedIn. He says, "How do you deliver negative feedback?" I'm presuming to an employee, but it can be to anybody. If you have to, deliver negative feedback to them, how do you do that? What's the right way to do it?
Shrikant, I did not understand the question. Could you rephrase it once again?
It says, how do you deliver negative feedback? I mean, I think what he means is when you want to say something is not right with the way they're doing it, what's the best way to do that?
From an employee perspective to the organization?
No, I think it's from the HR perspective to giving negative feedback to
Okay,
an employee or
okay,
corrective
okay.
feedback.
Okay. So crucial communications are regular in most of the organizations. I mean, we have to take those tough calls, and that is one reason why I was telling about in the just previous answer, that if you are being nice to people, you may not be the right HR person. It's not about being nice to people. It's about being right to people. So so uh, so I believe that the negative feedback, I don't want to create, add more on the negative feedback. I would say that it's about the crucial feedback, or the critical feedback which you want to give to the employees. Uh, this is regular, right? After every performance appraisals or every performance management cycle, there is going to be some people whom we have to provide performance feedbacks, which, I mean, at least for 5% of the group would be very very difficult, because we may have to let go some people, we may have to take harsh decisions on some people. So these are regular. So it's about how to give those feedbacks. I would want you to look at say how to say look at crucial conversations. So there are a lot of academic things in terms of crucial communications, but be genuine. I would say as a professional, as a practitioner, I would say that be genuine in those communications, wherein you communicate what is the real reason. Don't try to sugarcoat it. Don't try to say something which is not there, or don't try to overcome it there. Say that this is the reality, and be genuine, because people love genuine people. And this is what I have learned in my own career. I've got a lot of friends in all of my previous organizations, because I was always genuine with them. Because genuinity is one skill or one trait which is expected in people. And if, I mean, I'm not telling that everyone is not genuine, but if you feel, if you say that you're genuine, if you communicate with your words that your genuinity, people love you, and people would do anything for you. That's the best part. And if you communicate that, hey dude, this is what it is and I can't help it, this is because of these reasons, and this is what you should do now, or this is what I suggest you to do. If the communication is genuine and authentic, uh, conversations, even crucial conversations, can be made positive, can be made productive.
Right. Awesome. Fantastic. So that was really great. I have one last question. We're running out of time. So let me ask a question which is my personal favorite for obvious reasons. I want to know what, according to you, is the role of merchandise when it comes to employee engagement and brand building and employer brand building?
Yes. Employee engagement has evolved a lot. I would say when I joined the HR domain, the likes of HR surveys or the Pulse surveys or the ESAT surveys were very minimal. After around 5 to 7 years, that was a trend. The Pulse surveys or the ESAT surveys were very common, and today it has gone further. So I'm not a very big fan of employment engagement activities, but definitely this will definitely add up. Say, for example, when I am saying that for a new joiner, when a new joiner on the first day, uh, a new joiner's first day is very critical, very crucial, very important, because that is the day when he or she creates an impression on this organization, which has to continue for at least 2 to 3 years or till the end of his service there. So the day one, it creates a lot of impact. If you can provide a good experience, a good overall, outlook of the company, and that is why organizations research on how to make the induction better and things like that. So today, today the work from home situation or the virtual remote working situation has created a lot of troubles. I have seen a lot of organizations sending them goodie baskets and the employee kit, the day one welcoming kit to the new joiners, and I have seen employees cherishing those. And this is one area which organizations can look at, because in a work from home situation, the number of activities which can do is very limited in terms of engaging the employee. Whatever we do, it is more screen time for the employees. So whatever I would recommend, whatever non-screen time activities we can do, that is the best thing what we can do in work from home situations. So these goodie baskets definitely will add value, will add a lot of connect to the employees. I would recollect one of the instances wherein we worked. I was telling you about the Cipla Pride War thing, right? So one of the activities we did in that engagement was that we sent individual letters, customized individual letters to each and every employee on their birthdays, from the senior vice president to their homes, along with the chocolate basket. It was not a very costly thing, but still it costed. The response what we got is tremendous. I would say that this actually helped us, drive this entire initiative a lot, because just that letter triggered a lot of communications in the social media, saying that, hey dude, look, I have got a letter from my senior VP uh, during my birthday, along with a basket of chocolate. Or it could be anything. It could be a pen, it could be say, for my own example, I'll tell you my own example. In one of my companies, I received on the date of my uh, uh, say my promotion, and the effective date, it was announced, and on the effective date I took over. On the same day, I received a basket or a packet at my home, which said, congratulations Renjith, you have done a good job, this promotion, you deserve this promotion, and things like that. So it was a very a small tabletop which said you have done a good job.
Right.
Today still I've moved on from that organization long back, but still my parents and my family still cherish those simple artifacts. These are, I
Right.
mean, these are connections, these are emotional connections which are created in the
Right.
minds of families. And family definitely uh, works a lot in terms of engagement.
Yes.
So the family also supports the employee to be more engaged to the organization. So I would say that definitely these merchandises or this has a value, but that is not the only thing of engagement. Definitely that also need to support. This is more of a support system to the engagement strategy.
Right. Awesome, awesome. It's been fantastic speaking to you, Ranjit. I really appreciate you taking the time off, and thank you everyone who've been watching this show and who participated in this show. Now's the time for me to pick up. Ranjit, would you want to pick up three winners, or would you like me to do that?
I leave it to you. I don't have all the questions in mind or
Right.
in front of me. Sorry.
Right. So, all right. So, my three picks is the first one is Maria, who asked a question about change management. How do you make sure, telling people that it's not change does not really mean more work. And Hisham has had this question about the psychological contract. That's the second
Yes, I
winner
appreciate that.
that I picked. And the third one is Praveen asked about the skills that are required to become a top-notch HR leader in the corporate industry. I think these three are my winners. So thank you very much, Maria, Mohammad Hisham, and Prabeen. Somebody from my team will get in touch with you and tell you how you can get your 500 rupee gift voucher on the home office. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you very much, Ranjit. You've taken time off from a busy schedule, and I'm absolutely sure that you added a lot of value to all those people who watched you live. And for those of you, in case you missed watching it live, the recordings will be right there on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Please go over it. It's a great investment of your time. Thank you so much, Ranjit, for your time once again.
Thank you so much, Srikanth, and thank you so much for the listeners. I mean, thank you so much for listening to me. I'm sure that you would definitely have more questions. Please let me know. Connect with me if you have more questions. I'll be happy to support you in whatever way I could. And thanks
Right.
again, Srikanth and Offi Needs and the home office for providing this opportunity. This is brilliant. I mean, I would say I've seen some of your 11 previous episodes, and all of them are I mean, top class. I would say that this is definitely going to add a lot of value to the HR community in terms of employee engagement. Wishing you all the best. And I just saw your work with some of the government organizations as well recently. So, wishing you all the best, and I'm sure that you are going places. All the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye bye.
Bye.